Hello everyone, this is our seventh lecture on the course titled Fluid Mechanics 2. Up to the sixth lecture, we have discussed various topics like concept of drag and lift, expression and derivation for the drag force and lift force, various types of drag, various types of bodies, and factor effect which are going to affect the drag force which is acting on the body. And after discussion of all those things, we are going to solve some numericals. So in this lecture, we are going to solve some numericals. I have just splitted a lecture on the numerical into two parts. In the first lecture, we are going to solve some simple numericals which are based on the uh, equation of the drag force and lift force. As usual, before proceeding for this lecture, we will go through the some previous topics. That is, we will make some revision. So, drag force, as we all know, it is a component of the total force which is acting in direction of motion. Lift force, it is also a component of total force, but it is acting in normal to the direction of motion. Again, expression for the drag and lift, as we have discussed, drag force can be is given by the equation CD multiplied by A multiplied by rho u square upon 2, and again lift force, which is given by coefficient of lift multiplied by A multiplied by this dynamic pressure rho u square upon 2. Just remember that rho and u are the density and velocity, CD and CL are the drag force and lift force, and this A, which is going to play important part while solving the numerical, which is given by the which is known as projected area of the body in direction perpendicular to the motion, or largest projected area of the submerged body. So if you are considering submerged body or any body which is in air or in water which is totally submerged, as we all know what is submerged body, which we have discussed in the very first lecture. So whenever we are considering submerged body, it is largest projected area of the submerged body, or it is a projected area of body in direction perpendicular to the motion. Now whenever we are considering drag force, at that time we need an external power to overcome the drag if we want to keep our object in motion. So at that time we need to overcome that drag, and we need an external power, and that external power can be calculated by using equation force acting on that body against motion multiplied by velocity. So let's start our this lecture with the numerical. A flat plate having area 1.5 meter by 1.5 meter moves at a speed of 50 kilometer per hour in the stationary air. A plate is moving in the stationary air which is having density 1.15 kg per meter cube. If CD and CL both are given as 0.15 and 0.75, then determine drag force and lift force on the plate, a resultant force on the plate, and external power required to maintain that motion. So how much power we required to maintain the motion of plate as 50 kilometer per hour. So let's solve this numerical. Before uh, before starting, just write down all the given data what they have given. Area of the plate is given as 1.5 multiplied by 1.5. As we are considering air, stationary air, so if I am considering air, my flat plate will become a totally submerged body. So in that case, area of the body will become 1.5 multiplied by 1.5. So my area coming out as a 2.25 meter square. Again, velocity is given as 50 kilometer per hour. So I am just simply going to convert it into a meter per second, which is given by 50 multiplied by 1000 divided by 60 multiplied by 60. So my velocity coming out as 13.89 meter per second. Density of air is also given 1.15 kg per meter cube, and we never going to convert that density. And CD and CL both are given at 0.15 and 0.75. So we are going to calculate drag force and lift force one by one. So first we will calculate drag force and lift force. As we all know, expression for the drag and lift. So by using simply their equation, we can compute drag force and lift force. Just put all the values, respected value in those equations. You will get the value of drag force and lift force. So for the drag force, my value is coming out as 37.44 Newton, and for the lift force, my value is coming out as 187.20 Newton. Just remember that the value of this part of the equation will remain same for the both drag force and lift force. Just simply it is going to change in drag coefficient and lift coefficient. So in case of drag coefficient, it is given as 0.15, and for the lift it is given as 0.75. So next we are going to calculate resultant force, which is given by equation Fr is equal to under root of Fd square plus Fl square. So just simply put values of Fd and Fl, you will get the value of resultant forces 190.85 Newton. Now I am going to calculate power required to overcome the drag. As we all know, power required to overcome drag will be given by the equation power is equal to force in direction of motion multiplied by velocity. Now which force which is going to act in direction of motion, that will be only a drag force, and it is going to act in direction of motion. So I am just simply going to put that value of drag force here, and velocity, so I need to maintain velocity of the plate as 13.89 meter per second. So I am going to use that value here, and how much power I require to overcome the drag, that will be coming out as 519 watt or 0.519 kilowatt. So this is our solution of this particular numerical. We will move to the next numerical, which is given as uh, a vertical component of the landing speed of parachute is 6 meter per second. Remember, it is given as vertical component of the landing speed of parachute. Vertical component of the landing speed, that is this parachute moving in any direction, but its vertical component of that velocity which is acting in downward direction, and that velocity component is 6 meter per second. That is mean that it is coming in downward direction with the velocity 6 meter per second. Treat parachute as an open hemisphere and determine diameter. If the total weight is to be carried by the parachute as 1200 Newton, take value of R is equal to, sorry, here it is not R, it is given as 1.208 kg per meter cube. That is mean that it is density. Mistakenly I have taken there R, so I am just going to replace it with the density. I am just going to correct it, and CD is given as 1.33. So simply they asked to calculate diameter of that hemisphere, parachute, and we are going to treat that hemisphere as a that parachute as a hemisphere, and we need to calculate its diameter. So whenever we are considering that parachute as a hemisphere, in that case area of that hemisphere will be given by pi by 4 multiplied by d square. So I am just simply going to use this equation, and I am just going to replace that this equation, this value of the area in the drag equation. So I will get the this value of the diameter. So let's start. Before proceeding solving to the numerical, we will just write down all the given data. So what they have given velocity as 6 meter per second, downward velocity. They are also given air density as 1.208 kg per meter cube. They are also given the weight which is carried by the this parachute, that is mean that it is going to act in downward direction, that weight component, and CD, that is given as 1.33. As I am treating my hemisphere parachute as a hemisphere, in that case value of the area will be given by pi by 4 d square. Now whenever my parachute which is coming in downward direction, as it is moving in downward direction through air, at that time it will be subjected to the drag force which is acting in upward direction. Now both force acting in opposite direction. Now downward component, we know weight component which is given as 1200 Newton. So with the weight of 1200 Newton, my parachute moving in the downward direction, at the same time it will be subjected to the drag force. Now if I want to maintain my speed of the parachute as 6 meter per second, in that case whatever my drag which is acting in upward direction and weight component which is acting in downward direction, both should be equal. If it is not equal, like say if my drag is greater than weight, whatever the weight component and drag component, if my drag is greater than this weight component, in that case this parachute will be lifted in upward direction. It won't come in downward, never going to land on the ground surface. If this drag which is acting on vertical direction is less than the weight, in that case whatever the speed of my parachute is going to increase in the downward direction, so it will become faster, it will reach faster on the ground surface. So to maintain that velocity, I need to we need to maintain our drag and weight component as equal. So I am just simply going to use my value of drag in the equation of drag as 1200 Newton, and I am simply going to calculate the diameter. So we know that equation for the drag which is given by CD multiplied by A multiplied by rho u square upon 2. Just replace this A with the pi by 4 d square, and CD is already given, rho u square upon 2. Velocity is already given, density is already given, and for that velocity we know that we are just going to equate my weight and drag, and just I'm going to replace the drag with the 1200, and by putting all the respected values, as CD as 1.33, area is pi by 4 d square, we are simply going to calculate d here. Again, density of air is given as 1.208, velocity is given as 6, and FD, which we have taken, equal to the weight component. And after considering all those values, and after doing the calculation, I am getting the value of D as 7.72. Sorry, it's not meter per second. Again, I have just typed there meter per second. So it is 7.72 meter. So this is our answer. Those are the simple numerical based on equation of the drag force and lift force. In the next numerical, we will solve some other and some tricky numericals. So that's it in this lecture. Thank you for watching.